Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Ernie C, the Gap Tooth Genius, and this is going to be episode 153 of the Keep Grinding the podcast. I'm Ernie C, the Gap Tooth Genius.
It's Arnold Cueto.
And we are
Doing
Doing
the
the
Job.
Job. This is where we put over our favorite wrestling, Doing the Job podcast, and we're going to jump right into it. Actually, sir, how was your week? I should just be a better host. How you doing, sir?
Oh, you're fine, brother. We've been busy as heck, man, trying to, keep the day job going, trying to get this track club that I'm working with going, and just pushing through.
We should mention Cueto is a great track coach, and he's out at Highland High. And I know it's right now. It's summertime. I'm in the middle of summer league, so I know to do this is taking a little bit of our time. But I really appreciate you taking your time to put over the stuff that we love, bro.
Oh, this is easy. This is the stuff you like to talk about. This is the hobby stuff you get to talk about with your boys. This is
Dude,
all this is.
did you see that? I just started with Tony Donis. I did it's called What's in the Deck. So now we have like 3 podcasts in one, which is pretty cool. Now we're doing like classic hip hop albums. Like I said, eventually we want to do with our classic matches. Mm-hmm. So it's an honor to do this, man. Like I said, sure. it's a walk in the park. So this week of SmackDown, did you watch any Dynamite?
I did.
Okay.
Just again, it kind of all blurs. You know what I mean? You're trying to look for the stories. You're trying to look for the the big parts. It's the main characters that kind of stick out to you. The Tony Storms, the MJFs, the guys, the Swerves, the Ospreys, guys like that. That's what's really making the show for you right now. What you turn into. Everything else, you'll catch a cool Daniel Garcia match or an Action Andrade match, or something. You'll see something kind of cool mixed up in there. One of my favorite guys in AEW that I feel goes unsung a lot is Buddy Matthews, Rhea's husband.
Oh my God, yeah, definitely.
I wish they would get more done with that guy.
He's always been that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Even before he left WWE, he was having I felt like he was having a good run of matches. Mm-hmm. But I guess that's not what's really selling. He's probably maybe his mic work is what holds him back a little bit. But I enjoy his stuff too.
But even then, who's thriving a little bit in AEW is Ricochet, and he's not a great mic guy either. But,
definitely. That character is taking chances. And you know what I really look about Buddy Matthews? I always kind of compared him to Neville.
Yeah.
In a weird way, and that was kind of what I always thought I'd surpass him. But with Pac too, I haven't seen Pac on AEW in a while. He's been so hit and miss. You'll have a 3-week run. Then we don't see him for a couple months. That kind of brings me down a little bit on him.
I worry about his injury status.
Yeah, man, he has been a little injury prone. But no, I didn't catch any AEW. The only AEW news I caught was John Moxley. Did you see him throw that guy on the ground? And I seen it, but I didn't know it didn't look that severe. But some people take different bumps,
Yeah, I went back and I saw it, and I guess that guy's was no longer an employee with the company. But if you look at the bump itself, it's just essentially it's a guy getting shoved to the ground, which is,
with the padding and everything.
Right.
Too, I was like,
It doesn't. It looked like his head didn't look like it really hit or anything like that. Here's another AEW story that just came out like yesterday. Couple backstage, and a very unlikely couple. You got Mercedes Moné, and she is officially with the Beast Mortos.
No way.
Yeah,
I did not know that. Wow. She did leave that other guy she was with. I don't know his name, but I see him on these documentaries and stuff. Dang, that's what it is. Speaking of couples, I know Cole and Britt Baker are not together anymore, but I heard Britt might come to...
Yeah, there's a lot of speculation right now about
WWE. John, Coach me put that out there. I'm a Britt Baker guy. She is kind of I always said a cosplay of some of the stuff I see in WWE, but with her own gimmick and with the DMS or the DMT, that she'll be okay. I think she does well. She does good work.
I think her biggest issue has always been she's a victim of just really bad timing. It seems like every time she was about to heat up, something came along that kind of sidetracked her or took her way out of the spotlight for a while and just kind of put a halt on any momentum that she's building.
Yeah, definitely. So maybe next. I got YouTube TV now, so I'm dedicated to the podcast. I got YouTube TV, so I'm willing to pay the monthly subscription because I don't got SmackDown or anything else, and I want to have SmackDown because I want to like to record it. I don't have a DVR on a Fire Stick or anything, so I got YouTube TV, and we just have Wi-Fi here, so it's Netflix on for Raw, and now we have YouTube TV for SmackDown. So I made the commitment. We're going to doing the job. We're going to put it over, and that's what it is.
Just got to find the 7 hours of time to watch
Oh,
that.
my God. So speaking of 7 hours, 3 hours of SmackDown on June 14th, which seems like a lifetime ago, 4 days ago. But this is a stacked card. Did you watch most of it? It was a very stacked card. I love how they're doing, like we talked about last week, the Fatal 4-Ways for the King of the Ring. It looks like that's just the first round then, right?
Right.
Okay, so the first round, Fatal 4-Ways. Loved John Cena coming out, man.
Man, what a like a real like thick segment of a lot going on there.
Oh my God, he has so many people gunning for him, and then we have let's go through it first.
Sure.
Let's go through it first. So he comes out saying he should be the Mount Rushmore. His Mount Rushmore is Cena. Measure Dylon. I like it. Let's see here. Again, shooting interview, man. Better than he tells the people he's better than you, and he's everything. He's everything they want to be, and he seized the moment, shook the world. He claims he planned all this out, and that's a great heel move. I knew this was going to happen, and I loved it.
Again, always the best wrestling storylines are always embedded in some sort of reality, and you really get the sense if you've been following wrestling, if you've been following, Cena's career from the deeper fan perspective of like John always trying to like win over the crowd and having to deal with everybody, all the older kind of more seasoned fans that are always kind of like, well, Cena's not, Stone Cold, or Cena's not this, Cena's not that. And that, the WWE at the time was catering to the younger fans, and Cena was kind of forced into this little good guy bubble.
He's that PG champ. Yeah. He's always been known as the face of the PG era type of thing.
And now you're getting the sense that he kept all that negativity in his back pocket because he knew one day he was going to have the opportunity to use that. Yes. And it feels like now he's finally starting to unload that.
And it's nice that I put here, too, he's a wanted champion. Everybody wants a piece of him right now. It looks like Cody, LA Knight, Orton, CM Punk in a couple of weeks, and now you got R-Truth in the mix. Like you said, it has that bloodline feel of everything's intertwined in a way, and that's the way I feel like our champion should be. Everybody should be in line, trying to take that title away from him. And I know Randy had his chance, but he, like you said, if anybody was alive at the time and had a sense, he had him beat.
I feel like the best main event card is always based around the title.
Yes.
And I feel like I think that's the AEW issue right now, is there's not a lot of emphasis put on being the champion. Everybody's just kind of but the WWE has that main title, and Gunther too is doing this to an extent where it's the ultimate prize. It's seen as everyone wants to. So now you have like everyone's got their own layer to it. You're either like Randy wants number 15. Cena wants to go out as champ. CM Punk wants to be the guy to take the belt off of Cena.
LA Knight just wants a shot.
Yeah.
And even
I think Truth's the only one that legitimately just wants Cena. Like, he cares less about the title. He just wants to put down Cena, and it seems like in his story.
And I like to see now that, at any moment, we could build this shit up all you want. And then here comes Seth with the briefcase. Good stuff on top of the card, I feel like, right now, especially with that title. And we could talk about Gunther. We're talking about Gunther with the Raw segment, but very good. It's nice to see the champion hunted. I know this is, like I said, it was a long SmackDown, but you see in segments when Cena eventually does come back towards the end. And
well, it was cool because I think the last time we had the last podcast we were talking about is just Seth's always in the background. I legitimately forgot Seth was still an option. Like, as I was going through that segment, I was like, man, every new guy came out and everybody had a legitimate like a
gripe.
Yeah,
100% of the gripe. And then the first match of the night. Okay. Oh, and then at the end of this, he walks away from everybody wants his belt. Here comes R-Truth, and he's gonna probably be. How do you say that, man? A thorn on his side. He's gonna be involved somehow. Maybe he screws him in Saudi. When he goes against Punk.
Yeah.
Maybe he interrupts Rollins' Money in the Bank cash in. Like, so many things he could do.
Again, because it's R-Truth, so you don't. I know he's trying to play the serious side, but
that's why
you're still kind of trying to get a read on him. Like, what's he? What's his serious? Is it a little bit more crazier than everybody else's? Serious. So.
And they were still calling him R-Truth. I thought it was Ron Killing. So maybe they're going back and forth. That confused me a little bit because honestly, R-Truth, I think of the comedy figure.
Mm-hmm.
Ron Killings is that guy that NWA TNA just straight ruthless. He's a wrestler, and maybe there's a combination there. They're trying to find a meeting, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I feel that there's a play on like I think Ron is still Ron, but I think those guys are calling back to like, oh, take him serious now. You know?
Mm-hmm. The first semifinal match of the night was LA Knight. At least maybe there was some matches I think I skipped. LA Knight, Aleister Black, Randy Orton, and Carmelo Hayes. What did you think about this belt?
Again, Carmelo just kind of working the ring, bouncing off of everybody, making sure everybody gets their stuff over. Same time, his timing, his execution of his moves, he's solid, man. He's gonna be. He's a great rookie. Last week I think we talked about Dom and Braun Breaker.
We got he wasn't the one pick.
Yeah,
I put my first note was Hayes springboard into a leg drop. Wow,
Yeah.
athletic. That was a hell of a move.
Mm-hmm.
That was a hell of a move. Nonstop action the whole way out. Aleister Black, man, he could tell like he's still we're still trying to find a place for him too.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Aleister Black, and I think from the entrance he's great. But there is a point too, like you said with Britt Baker. When are we going to give him that momentum and just let's start throwing that rock down the hill?
Right.
And it has to be a point. Maybe it's with the IC title, US title, or just a decent feud.
I think that's what it is more than anything. I think he'll sell the match as well as he can, but once he finally gets into that storyline, that just kind of sucks him in and engulfs him, and it's a character now that he can work with. And
we see again nonstop action. Bronson and Braun interfere, and it cost LA Knight a shot at the championship.
Yeah, they're working deeper into that. I think they're sucking more people into feuding with that Seth stable. That
man, again, more storylines are intertwined. Man, that RKO from Hayes, it was on top of Knight, and
as I say, that was the first one on one RKO on top of another dude.
That was beautiful, man. Randy Orton gets the victory. Do we know who he has next week? Who's he has next week?
I think they still have another qualifier.
I think they do too.
Because I think they did. I'm not sure if it's two or there's four. I think they're 2 down or 3 down.
I think there's one more to go.
Yeah.
Fatu and Solo. I thought you. How did you feel about that segment? That was a segment, right?
Yeah,
it was a segment.
Jacob comes out, starts addressing his crowd.
Oh, yeah.
And then Solo interrupts him on the Tron. The craziest thing to me is how fast everybody wanted to just give into Solo or Jacob being a face.
Oh yeah.
Nobody wanted, like everybody wanted to be cheering this guy for him. As scary as he was, they secretly all liked him. And now that he kind of made that switch, everybody's on it. Like, okay, I'm bought in. I'm a Jacob guy.
I love Solo's line of, Solo's line of, I brought you in, I'll take you out. He's kind of son him. I like that. I like that. We had Jade, Piper, and Nia Jax, and I forgot the last girl's name. Forgive me. Do you know who that was?
That was Michin.
Michin. Where is she from?
Michin. She's kind of been not really utilized very much. She was in a feud recently with Chelsea Green when she was fighting for the U.S. title.
Okay.
Before that, I think she was working with the Profits before they turned into the Her Business. She kind of got like shuffled around a little bit. She hasn't really been given anything solid to work with. Recently, she's been partnered with B-Fab from.
Okay.
From.
Yeah. Okay, I know exactly. Okay, I remember that now. But I did love seeing Nia and Piper working. Those two, they're larger athletes. They're real stiff in there. I like that.
They really make the case for. I mean, obviously they're both kind of wrapped up in their own, gimmicks right now. But down the line, those two could make a very convincing, dominant female tag team.
Oh my! Yes, they can. Yeah. Now that you say that, I would love to see that. They're both really athletic and
they work well together. Yeah, they had good chemistry together.
It looks and their work looks decent. It's a little stiff, but Nia's always known for that. But we need that right now. I could definitely see that down the road for sure.
They could be like a female. I'm trying to think who's a kind of a big stiff tag team from back in the day.
Like Earthquake and Typhoon.
Kind of like that.
I guess you could say that. Yeah. Jade can win it all. I believe 100%. They might throw it on Jade.
So the thing I like about Jade is they're not trying to reinvent the wheel with Jade. They're building her up organically.
Yes.
She has some limitations, but they're not trying to push past them right now. She's doing what she's supposed to. She's working on her selling a lot, which is good. I mean, she gave a lot of offense to to Piper and Nia. What I think that Jade needs to start kind of doing or organically is kind of explore outside of her comfort zone a little bit.
Definitely.
We know we're going to see the big kick. We know we're going to see a couple of slams and that kind of thing. But the more she could add to her arsenal, she's an impressive enough looking athlete where pretty much whatever she kind of throws out there, she'll sell. But or it'll work. But it's just I think the more she adds to her, the better. She doesn't want to get stale.
It is kind of the way she is working. It's kind of maybe they are saving her. Maybe they don't want to expose her. And maybe because she's a little. I'm sure she is green, right?
Well, I mean, her match at WrestleMania with Naomi, I thought was like, oh man, this looks a lot better. This is a lot more stuff in her arsenal.
And maybe that injury kind of just set her back a little bit too. Maybe takes a little time to get back into it.
It's like I know that you can tell there's more there. She just gotta let it out.
Will be honest with you, I did watch the Naomi promo. Nothing that I really wanted to talk about. Did you want to talk about anything about that?
I mean, it's a standard promo. She's trying to put herself over. She's trying to get kind of the same similar to what she was talking about. I didn't need y'all back then. I don't need you. I'm gonna do this on my own, kind of thing. So.
And that was and again, I know we're doing the job loving stuff, but man, I don't love 3-hour SmackDowns. The Machine Guns, the Machine City Machine Guns, or Motor City Machine Guns, and the Wyatt Six. I really love Sabin. And Shelly. Love them. But man, I just couldn't. It was hard for me to get back to watch this match for some reason. And I know we're not here to talk down, but it's just a long episode of SmackDown.
I think the sad part about the Wyatt Six is they were hot when they first kind of debuted. And then, the injuries. We didn't see Bo. We didn't see any of the team for a while. And they kind of lingered. And then when they came back and attacked again, you're like, oh, yeah, that's right. They're there. Like, kind of when we were talking about Bridge, they lost their heat.
Their heat, yes, they did. And it's like, how do we get that back? And this is no offense to the other guy. It might just have to be Bo Dallas right now.
Yeah.
Because Bo Dallas is the one that I think people want to see. But I want to see Bo Dallas with an edge on him. And I love Uncle Howdy, what he's doing, but I just feel like Bo needs to have Bo.
He needs to start working his way into angles. He needs to start working his way into singles matches. The group itself as a tag team is one thing, and it's okay for, Dexter Lumis and
all those guys could work, man. All of them could work, dude. But I love what's her name?
Nikki Cross.
I love Nikki Cross, man. She's an athletic. She's a great worker. She's stiff too. I love stiff. I love that when she works stiff. I love that.
Even though she's like 5 feet tall.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I love what she was doing with Alexa. It's like, let's get maybe Bo in there a little bit more and let him build up his resume. I
don't think this is a faction that should be limited to just tag teams. I think he needs to go into the singles.
He's a leader.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you have to, just like the old, maybe not squash matches, but build his credibility up, build his rep. And when he does get in some sticky situations, then you can, don't forget about my people. And I can't tell you exactly how to do that, but that's kind of like how I would make him relevant.
I think it's a callback to back in the day. You'd have like a DX, for example. Hunter would be going for the IC title, the world title. The New Age Outlaws would be going for the tag titles. Just, they're attacking the company on different fronts, and just it makes the group seem bigger.
Definitely, I think, and just again maybe against authority, maybe there is no authority for them. Like, how do we make that happen? I just think that's what kind of will make them interesting a little bit more. Another Cena promo calls out R-Truth, but we get CM Punk.
That was the one we wanted to see, and this was a great back and forth.
Yes, CM Punk, man, is again just for the people and just waiting in the wings. The roles have reversed.
It's the flip, flip from where they were, in 2012.
Yes.
John's calling out, he's calling CM Punk a hypocrite, and he's trying to do something for the people, even though he doesn't believe in the people. He's, I love there's implications of him talking about his AEW kind of thing, where he's talking about like taking money from the Saudis and stuff like that. How they're hinting at that by making him take this title shot in Saudi Arabia, and so just the layers of that, and then to CM Punk for all that kind of stacked against him still worked out. In his credit, where he was able to kind of call John out on his, you're trying to be like me.
You took everything that you took my whole act, and it's gonna be it's anticipated. Like, I cannot wait to watch Night of Champions. I think does CM Punk win? I don't know. Can it be? Does R-Truth come and screw Cena out of it? It can't happen. But I don't know. I thought they were going to save it for SummerSlam in a weird way. That's the money match. I've always felt like Cena and Punk was the money match. That's just. I'm a Punk fan, so I'm surprised they're going. Maybe it's going to be a series of matches, which I'm okay with too.
Yeah, I can see that too. I mean, those two are always going to be money. Those two are always going to be. No one sells a match like those two.
Unless they go 4-way, man.
Yeah.
And they put Punk, Orton, Rhodes, Cena in that SummerSlam match. I don't know where Truth falls in that, but or maybe Truth goes, in place of who did I just say? Rhodes, Cena, or maybe in front of Orton.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a 4-way, just like they did with WrestleMania.
Well, I think
they do that.
They might be saving Randy for the title shot. I'm not sure because I think is that what the stipulation for King of the Ring winner is.
Which I like. It makes it meaningful.
Yeah,
and that's what we need.
I think the past few years, a lot of the King of the Ring, because a lot of the King of the Ring winners, it launched Stone Cold, it launched Triple H, but they didn't have, it kind of just organically off of their own momentum. Now that they're actually adding a title shot to there, kind of like how, now winning the Royal Rumble is a big deal.
Yes.
So for this exact reason.
And it's cool to see, like, now I think the title, with these type of stars you have, I think the title shot should always be the end of it. It should be the reason why we're all, I guess, in this world, giving it everything we got. So it's nice to see, even though Rumble 2, they kind of, for me, my biggest complaint was, but we're not main eventing really. The night 2 is the main event, and let's see how that goes with the King of the Ring. I'm just glad. I love stakes. I'm a big guy with it. Something, everything has to matter. So again, we get R-Truth, and was it who was it? Was it our commissioner of SmackDown here?
Aldous?
Yeah, it was right in the back and just gave him the match. Hey, it was easy. It was easy get. So he tells Truth, what do we need to do? And he wants this shot back, and R-Truth gives it to him. And looks like we're gonna get R-Truth to Cena next week. I'm excited for that.
The end of that match is going to be very telling of what's going to happen in Night of Champions.
And Night of Champions is 10 days away. I cannot believe it's 10 days away. We just started this podcast, and we're gonna have 2 PLEs.
Yeah.
Alba Fire isn't bad. Who did Alba Fire? With Bliss, right?
Yes.
Alba Fire is not bad in the ring, dude.
No,
this is my first time seeing her. Not bad at all. I really like what I see against Bliss.
I think it's a great way because she was always kind of lingering since she made the jump from NXT to the main roster, and I think this has been a great way to introduce her to the fans. Kind of, similar to like how Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder were back in the day for Edge, kind of like a minion to Edge, and then
definitely
built up their own character and got their own momentum.
So now I'm looking at my notes. This was actually a 4-way bout, right? Alba Fire, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte,
and
there was one more. I want to say Carmen Perez, but I don't think it was because she was last week with Stephanie Becker. Who was that 4th person, dude? Couldn't tell you. But anyway, did you see that finish though?
Oh yeah, the double
finish when they give it to Alexa Bliss, and her and Charlotte had their great finish, man. That's a great finish. I like that a lot.
It's a good way to build up a feud within a different match for a different storyline.
I wonder who came up with that. That's a great finish. I was kind of shocked, but in a good way. Like, oh damn, Alexa got one over on Charlotte.
Yeah.
So now does Charlotte, make her? She screw her next week during her match.
Maybe, yeah.
That's the way to go. That's if you want to build it, I think, and then maybe Night of Champions will get the blow off.
Yeah.
Again, stack card, dude. We're almost done. We have almost every star that we love on here. Our last match was Shinsuke, Andrade, Cody, and Damian Priest. What a damn main event, dude.
It's great about matches like this. I keep forgetting how. Again, I think we talked about Night of Champions with Andrade, kind of like these, him being, or not, Money in the Bank. Him being in that match kind of makes you remember, like, oh yeah, Andrade's here and he's way talented. I think Shinsuke kind of had that same deal. We forget that he's there, but then you're like, oh man, this guy's like an amazing performer. He had that double leg trip spot on the rope. That was pretty.
He controlled the first of the match. Shinsuke did at least. Man, but you know what though? There's always I put here too. Andrade looks great, But Cody has that extra, very special. When you could just tell the guys who have that extra gear, and at 40, damn near 40 years old, Cody still has that extra gear. There's levels to this stuff, right, that we're talking about. It's not about high flying, taking a big bump. It's just about the extra gear that he has. He had that Cody stunner from the corner that was amazing. It's just nice to see that. Yeah, Cody. There's without a shadow of a doubt, man.
Yeah,
He's special. It's crazy.
it's that thing that makes generational talents. When the guys are on top and they seem to just perform at the level that they're at. You have a lot of guys who, over the years, people complain about when Roman was on top, he was like, oh man, that guy, he's not working enough, he's not doing this enough, he's not doing that enough. But Cody is taking the main event slot that he's earned and really not letting up on continuing to tell people, this is why I'm here, this is how I belong in this spot.
And he protects it. He knows this is. I think he knows that this run he has is special, and it's been one hell of a run, dude. And it's still, and it's just it's. I think it was in Green Bay or in SmackDown. Maybe that was Raw, but it's a SmackDown. He's in the main event. He could have probably just gone through the motions, but just see him still have that extra gear, bro, and the people run behind or just get behind him, and it was very nice to see. That made that long SmackDown worth it for me, and he got the victory. He's on to the next round.
And the other thing too to look on that is he's in there with high, well-performing guys. Damian Priest has been on fire since he had that title shot.
Oh yeah.
Andrade. I mean, Andrade is a highlight reel. Like just every time he's in a match, he's kind of steals the spotlight. And Nakamura again, another quality performer. And so for Cody to kind of go in there and wrestle that style that he does and still make it more entertaining to you, it's been impressive.
Andrade looked really good though in here, man. You just see he seems a little focused and a little more focused, and I like his lucha strong body style. Has always been one that I really always liked it, man. Again, maybe missing something. There's always been one of those reasons, to one of many, that momentum, and something just happens where there's that roadblock there.
Another guy that just needs the right storyline right now. What he is right now, honestly, is he's literally Eddie Guerrero before they put him in that storyline with China.
Kind of like a stepping stone guy.
Like you can see the talent there. He has that great blend of American style with that lucha style. But he just needs he needs the platform, and he hasn't been given one yet.
Okay, so let me go here. We're going to talk about Raw right now. June 16th. Let's see here. I know I didn't make any notes because I wanted to just look at it because I remember I watched all these matches too. Oh, we were in Green Bay that day. Okay, Liv Morgan, Dresser attack on Nikki Bella.
Oh man, Liv Morgan, that's.
The stuff her Dom got right now is
it's funny.
Very, very interesting.
Typically, so Liv is she's starting this kind of thing with Nikki Bella. She has this thing going on in the background with the Judgment Day, with kind of the turmoil and the Roxanne Perez undermining her kind of thing, and she's losing her kind of connection with the group, and they're teasing like, oh, Dom's going to leave her for Roxanne kind of thing. So she's really, I think Triple H just kind of knows that he can use the Liv because she steps up to everything that she's been handed to her. And then obviously, as we'll talk about here in a bit, or we can talk about it now since we're talking about Liv, but we find out in 2 matches into the show that she injured herself.
Oh yeah, that sucked to see, dude. We could talk about that now. She had her match against Zayn, right?
Yeah, Kairi Sane.
And dude, that looked like a regular bump. It turns out she freaking just look at your shoulder. That sucks, dude.
I did see one angle of it at slow motion where you can see the shoulder kind of pop out. It was rough.
Horrible, man, horrible.
But so then kind of harking back to what we talked about earlier with Britt Baker, and just kind of when you get heat and you kind of have something comes up and kind of get cost you. But I think if the thing with this is they can do this a right way and still give Liv enough time to recover.
Oh yeah,
she's a tag team title holder. Her and Raquel's in a faction. Roxanne's there. Now they can still play off of that whole Roxanne's going to step up. She's going to hold the title with kind of similar to what they did with Naomi and Jade.
Yes,
but I think this one's going to feel better because you already have that underlining tension between Liv and Roxanne.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think Liv too can still, even if she doesn't work, she could still, with her mic work and just still being involved with Dom, that could still make her, people won't forget about her. She'll still be seen. And I think that's just as important because, especially in this world, we're more of the promos are, if you could see by their show too, this was a lot of promo. Even SmackDown, dude, they're going promo match for 10 minutes. It's the promo work that matters right now. That's the way it is, and I love that too.
For sure.
And I think she could still be relevant with.
Oh no, I think the only person that really suffers from Liv getting injured is Nikki Bella.
Yeah, definitely. That's what they plan on her having it with. But Nikki's one of those, I think, names too. They could probably just input her with
I'm
anybody.
sure. Yeah, they're setting up for that all-female pay-per-view again, and I think.
Evolution too,
yeah.
definitely.
And I think they'll find someone for Nikki to work with that's going to be just as good.
Let's see here. We talk about Asuka. Okay, so we have this Fatal Four, which I liked.
Oh man,
I'm a big like I said, Stephanie Vacker's my girl, man. So to see her, Ivy Nile, Raquel Rodriguez, and Asuka. Asuka, man, is always another wrestler that I've always loved watching, man. And she's special. She has that it, and she's had her moments too. And it's just I don't know if it was. I think she has some personal stuff going on. We won't dive into all that stuff. I know people are weird in this world, but she's overcoming that. It's nice to see her back, and I love just her work, man. I've always loved Asuka, dude.
I wish they would have taken a second to kind of build up the Stephanie and Asuka facing off.
Oh yeah,
like because as that was setting up, I was like, oh, and then they just went right into us. Oh man, let that breathe a little bit. You know?
Definitely.
Those are two great stellar workers. Right
And
now.
Stephanie again. We talked about her last episode. Stephanie's gonna be special. Everything goes well.
Yep.
Stays healthy. Now we can see with our girl. It can happen. Do you get hurt off a bump? Stephanie is someone I think that could really do some great things, man.
Yeah.
I think she has a look. I think she has a moveset. I think she has the attitude. I know maybe she's not. We have on the mic. She's still working on the language, but that hasn't held a lot of people back nowadays. This is
look at Asuka.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to hold anybody back.
You just got to bring the right attitude and the right energy to it.
And
again, an overall great match. Obviously, you got the sense that either it was going to be Asuka or Stephanie. Nothing against Raquel, nothing against Ivy, but I think their time is still yet to come for them. I think they're both two. I mean, if you look at Raquel and you look at Ivy, they're two wrestlers that, like, just on looks alone, you're like, oh, those are going to be stars eventually.
Oh yeah, and I forgot about this. Rodriguez did have Vacker down, hit her with her finisher. And Rhea Ripley comes in, pulls her out, costs her the match, and Rhea, another one who's just. There's tears, there's just levels above this, and
we got to appreciate Rhea for working with her girl Raquel again, because I think that her goal is to put her friend over like that, or to get her friend in that, lift her into that scene.
You got to elevate her. So they're close friends off the camera. I'm not familiar with them. I did not know that. Asuka, man, love seeing her back. I'm glad she won.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be Asuka and Alexa Bliss, and hey man, Charlotte has history with both of them, so she definitely can do something there. Let's see here. It's been over a year since Asuka's been there. It's awesome. 13 months. Good lord. Let's see here.
We got
Gunther backstage scene, walking down stage. Here for next. Let's see. This is a promo we see with Rey Mysterio, Dom Mysterio. Let's go into our Gunther. Man, talk of the town. Gunther addresses the people, and
we knew this was going to happen sooner or later.
He says, he was the better man for being Jay, and he admitted when he lost. Now he won, and who's next? And we hear it. It's 2025, and I love a Goldberg chant, dude.
It's funny is that Goldberg always brings that same kind of energy to any show, basically. You hear that music, and even if you're a cynic of Goldberg, you think he can't wrestle, whatever, it still kind of takes you back to the hype and the mania and the streak and all that. And
it takes me back to like when him and Brock were still doing when they had their feud, and dude, even that last one against Bray Wyatt, we took the title off of him. I'm a Goldberg mark, dude, so it was nice to see, and we knew this is gonna probably be his retirement match. They're building up, and I'm all for it, man. No, he's 50. It says here he's 58 years old. Like, yeah, he's gonna look a little old. He's tired in the ring. Like, dude, he's 58. Wouldn't you be? I hope it's I don't need, like you said, we don't need to do anything new, anything special.
Mm-hmm.
We'll just make it a Goldberg match. If you're gonna put him over, give him the 6-7 minutes. That's okay with me. It looks like July 12th, Saturday's main event.
Okay, yeah, they're not going to Riyadh. That's right.
I like that. It's man, that's what, almost a month. So we got almost a month to build to this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it. And how do you feel about Gunther Goldberg?
The thing I'm interested in about is Gunther has a lot of just mat-based moves, which is probably going to be key for Bill, because Bill's like, if Bill tries to go back to his old shoot style of like wrestling, like it can make for an interesting match.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they don't try to do, because Gunther's the probably the best guy for this, because Goldberg shouldn't be doing spots at his age.
Yeah, no, 100%.
And Gunther's not a spots guy. So.
And Gunther's gonna take care of him in the ring, but he's gonna make Goldberg will have his moments, and I think he'll sell for him, and he's gonna give him a good match, and as good as match as he can with a 58-year-old man. It's just he's gonna do the hits.
Oh no, for sure. I think
he'll do the hits.
Goldberg always liked to sell himself on his legit toughness, and I think Gunther's going to make people remember how tough Goldberg can be.
Oh yeah, and we'll see a good spear. I'm sure we might see a spear off the rip, man. Honestly, that's what they've done it so many times already. We might see a spear off the rip, maybe a jackhammer. Gunther kicks out, and from there just takes Goldberg on a ride.
Yeah. I'm just gonna wait to see that first chop to the chest. And the Goldberg, growl in his face kind of thing. That's going to be interesting to see.
So Goldberg's son's been rumored also to be interested in some wrestling, some type of wrestling career.
What's funny is I don't know if you saw that that next in line deal that they have.
Yeah, man.
The kids that they have Mark Henry's son coming up,
Steiner's,
Titus O'Neil's, and
the other Steiner.
And Scott's, yeah.
That kid looks like he has it. Just by looking at him, he's an athlete, good-looking kid.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell, like, man, this guy, if he gets it right. We have another Steiner.
And Braun just
Steiner brothers.
If they wanted to be a tag team, they could be a tag team. If they wanted to be just a faction, just
I think they do. Why not? Again, picture say just a picture, but the kid looks like, man, he's likable, and that's in this world right now. You gotta have that
charisma.
That's half the battle.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these stars we're talking about these last two podcasts, they're good, but there's just tiers to it, right?
You got to catch the eye, yeah.
There's going to be people who just, but who says this all the time? I don't know if it was Jim. Oh, Cornette. The eye test. When someone could look at you in the fucking airport and be like, who the hell is that? That guy. I looked twice. Like, who the hell is that? Like, because this kid looks like he could pop out. He looks like an athlete. And, hey, man, Steiner name is respected. So,
for sure.
Does this, Goldberg's son kind of get involved? Gunther was talking about his family last time he was around. Are you okay with, again, I know you just said you were, but was this who you thought Goldberg would have before the whole interaction with Gunther? Is this who you want to see Goldberg's last match with, last match with? Say that 5 times. Who would I like to see Goldberg have his last match? Yeah, who would be your dream opponent for Goldberg's last match?
I think the best version of that in my head right now would be, the old school versus the new guard would be Braun Breaker.
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
Because that'd
be nice.
Braun's, spear guy. Essentially, Braun is what Goldberg was but he's basically Goldberg, the same kind of gimmick, a lot of the same moves, a lot of similar moves.
Just a little more seasoned.
But Braun's just a little crisper with it. He's his selling's better, his work rate is a little bit better,
and the people love both of them.
Oh yeah,
people when they get those spears, dude, and when Braun gets amped up, he starts tweaking his neck like people. Same thing with Goldberg, bro. Again, they love it.
If you remember Goldberg in 97, 98, that's what he was doing.
I remember Goldberg. Maybe we'll do this before he retires. The top 5 Goldberg or memories you have. I remember him against Hugh Morris, bro. Hugh Morris.
That was match 1.
Yeah, Hugh Morris and Glacier. I remember he picked up Scott Norton. Like that, and picked up the Giant. Like I remember all of these with Goldberg doing WCW, and just that big. I would never forget. We watched it live, and that room over there, that Nitro, Goldberg versus Hulk Hogan, and in Atlanta, like,
dropping the NWO.
God, dude, what a time, man!
I remember one of my favorite ones was when he went through the Raven flock, where he went through. He was wrestling Raven. He had to go.
Kidman
jumped in, Saturn jumped in, and then
what was that one guy's name?
Ron Reese, Yeah, the guy that's taller than Paul White. Yeah.
What the hell was his name?
Reese. Reese.
There was one more guy. Was it there? He was.
Riggs.
Riggs. Yeah. What the hell was his name? Though was it Stink? No, it wasn't Stink, dude. I forgot.
Kidman was Sick Boy.
Spank, not Spank.
Kidman was Sick Boy. Saturn was Saturn. Riggs was Scotty Riggs was Scott Riggs, or was it just Riggs? I want to say.
Was it Stevie Richards? Stevie Richards was with them for a second, wasn't he?
He might have been with them when he was in AEW, because I know he had a Ravens stable in AEW as well.
Let me see, Stevie Richards.
The Flock.
Maybe I'm thinking about something else than AEW. Interesting. We'll have to come back to that because that's going to take forever to find. Let me see. Let's go back to this. But yeah, I really would. Gunther Goldberg. Let's get it. Let's see. McDonough versus AJ Styles. JD back. Before he got hurt. About the momentum, right? Love what JD could do in the ring, man. Him and Styles complimenting each other was awesome.
Oh yeah, good work. Again, you don't expect JD to go over in this match. You expect AJ to go through unless some Judgment Day shenanigans happen. But the truth is, JD is finding his spot right now. He's on the radar. He's getting eyes on him. He's one of those guys that you can just put in a match with anybody and work and does well with it and put the other guy over.
Oh, he's a workhorse for sure. Love seeing AJ Styles. Man, I'm a big AJ Styles mark too. It was a good Raw match.
AJ is still probably one of the best workers in the company. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. Bayley dressed her attack on Becky Lynch.
Again, those are two girls that know each other, that worked with each other. That I think they've reinvented themselves so many times over the years. So even though this is probably their at least fourth or fifth match that I can think of off the top of my head against each other, they're both different characters every time. They're not. It's not the same old Becky and it's not the same old Bayley. Bayley's
one of those two. I feel like she's right in the middle of that tier, but on the border of that top tier. Was it wrong that she didn't get that WrestleMania spot? Most likely, but Lynch is that tier. It's not a hard choice. I would love to see Bayley get over that hump, man, and just establish the star that she is. And
Becky, did right. She found her spot. She saw her opportunity, and she stepped up when she needed to step up and got eyes on her.
Definitely.
Bayley just unfortunately has not had that opportunity. There's not been that moment that when I always go back to Becky getting her nose broken.
I was gonna say, man, there was so much we could have done with that. That was the time of. That was a beautiful moment. Yeah. Dude. That was. Oh man, I remember how I felt that.
That's when the top of the mountain shifted. You put a woman up there after that. Like that was
it, man. And maybe it was a little bit towards because it was a woman, but at that point I didn't give a damn. That was just the moment that made me say, "That's real." I'm behind her, and the blood in her face, and you know what? Damn, I was so mad at them for that. Like, dude, this is gonna take us to the next level. And it's always that theory too, man. I think they don't want anybody to be bigger than the brand, And
I always equate Bayley's kind of like, how can I put it? She's kind of like that band that you don't tell your friends about. Like, yeah, no, you guys really got to listen to them. They're good. And that's Bayley right now. Like everybody kind of like, no, you understand. You guys have to watch Bayley to really appreciate what she can do.
Definitely. Do you bring back the babyface Bayley with the music and the gimmicks and all that?
Unfortunately, I think she's evolved past that. I think
so too. I was hoping you'd say no.
I think that had its time, and I think Bayley's not catering towards the little kids anymore. She's kind of trying to find her following and kind of like, okay, now instead of little girls watching, now she wants to be, like that's the girl. That's my girl right there.
Let's be serious, yeah. Maybe that's some cheap hop type of stuff. We talked about the Kairi Sane and Liv Morgan match. Nick Aldridge tells AJ Styles he's going to get the Intercontinental Championship match tomorrow or next week against Dirty Dom. Actually, Nia Champions. I'm sorry.
This will be interesting because I think this is going to be something that's going to be big to the Judgment Day storyline.
I think Dom is gonna. He could work with. He is so improved from that babyface Dom with his dad. He could work with anybody, and it's hard to find we have a bunch of them right now, but it's really hard to find someone who could do it really well. And the people still want to boo him and his gimmick, but he makes it work. And I'm enjoying everything Dom's doing right now.
It goes back to that whole idea of like, you got to sit back and let some stuff cook for a while. Dom, when he first got out there, initially, I think a lot of the idea was like, oh man, they're shoving Rey Mysterio's son down our throats, we care. Mm-hmm. And then then the story got thicker with he turned on his dad, he joined the Judgment Day. Mm-hmm. Him and Rhea were a thing. He turned on Rhea for Liv. Mm-hmm. Now it's like Dom is so wrapped up in being a heel and everything like that. Like he went from the guy who couldn't get two words out because they would boo him so much. Now he's like there's legitimately an argument to try and turn him face.
Yeah, and I love his claim of being the greatest Intercontinental champion. It was awesome. No, the momentum for him is really, really nice. Mm-hmm. And we've seen Sami Zayn in the back talking about his his upcoming match. He's gonna be facing Randy Orton and Karrion Kross, who we've been really big on.
Yeah,
we want to see more of.
Again, he's always in the backstage. He's always kind of inserting himself into storylines, and he's interesting. I mean, like I think you look at Karrion Kross and you think he's a size guy. He's a big guy. He's he's got a good muscular build and everything like that. So they're probably going to sell him as this monster. He's very cerebral. He's very good at like just manipulating stuff in the backstage, selling that character as kind of like what side am I playing kind of guy. And that's really the idea of like what you're thinking when you think of Kross now. You don't think of like this, what I think when he was first presented as like this bald psycho kind of thing or whatever.
With the girlfriend while singing his intro. No, he's reinventing himself, which is hard to do. Mm-hmm. Which is hard, especially in the same world you stay in, this WWE world. It's not like he left somewhere, got a new move, and came back.
Right.
He stood here and he kind of went through the lumps and just went through the bad gimmicks. And remember that demolition look he had for a minute there too. Remember that?
Yeah.
It looked like Shao Kahn. Let's see what happens after. He told Zayn, this is the line here. Once the King of the Ring's over, Zayn and Kross are gonna have that match. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be nice to see. See, we have the main event here. Main event, Jey Uso, and I got corrected here. Jay's actually gonna go against Roxanne Perez next week. I didn't know who Jade was gonna fight, so it is Roxanne Perez, and we got Cody versus the winner tonight. Let's see here.
So this was the Jey Uso versus the three giant people match.
Yeah, dude, Rusev,
Sheamus, and Bronson Reed.
God, dude, Rusev, and Sheamus too, man. Another guy who's just has it. Love seeing what he does, man. When he had Bronson on the ring,
for sure,
doing the clobbering.
I'll be honest, if I'm Jey Uso and I'm in that match, I'm just like, man, I'm spending as much time out on the floor as I can.
Make him chase me, dude.
That's a hard hitting three guys to go up against.
Oh yeah.
Right there.
Rusev is back. Another guy who's going to find his way. It's been a while, but he's going to find his way. I believe that 100%. Mm-hmm. Let's see. What was a big... I didn't take any notes on that.
I liked the dynamic between Rusev and Bronson. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Sheamus, we know, is a hard-hitting wrestler. He's had, what he calls it, banger after banger after banger. Mm-hmm. He's had those hard-hitting kind of strong-style matches with Gunther and with Drew, and I think him inserted into this match. But I think, Big Bronson Reed and Rusev are two other guys that you can talk about in that same category. Not necessarily, they haven't had that opportunity to have that match against a Gunther or a Drew, that kind of thing. But I think if they put themselves into that style of match,
it's gonna get them over.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be impressive.
I love the physicalness of this whole match. Mm-hmm. We've seen some good bumps from Rusev too, man. Just and a couple times
you forget that a guy like Rusev can sell and bump.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I don't remember him being off his feet in AEW.
No.
You know what I mean?
I've seen him more on WWE TV's last year than that short amount of time he's been here since with AEW. Maybe that's kind of what he needed, though, honestly. Maybe there is a chance where go see if the grass is greener. And
you got to be reminded of what you can do sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Towards the end, we can just kind of go towards the end. We had a bunch of false finishes. Mm-hmm. Bronson going off that top rope. Dude, that shit looks like it hurts. What a bonsai splash from the top, man.
I like that he's not afraid of. I mean, he broke both ankles doing it, but he didn't shy away from it. He still.
That was a hell of a injury too.
Man, it looked rough.
That was Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Or War Games. Yeah, great.
Granted, I mean, I think that was off the cage, at the top of the cage.
Top of the cage, yeah, man, that looked horrible. We see Uso go on the top of the rope, and Braun comes in and interferes. Mm-hmm. And then that's when all hell broke loose. We see Sami Zayn come out. We see Penta come out. Penta and Braun Breaker, there's something there too.
Man, this is the finish that you loved as a kid.
That was Nitro all the way.
Man, just, okay, here comes this guy. Well, this guy's going to come and offset that guy. Well, his other guy's going to come in now, and then
LA Knight comes in and just handles business, dude.
And then Penta was there, and, and then eventually Seth makes his way down. It's just, it's just so layered. Like, that's the stuff you want to see. And that's, again, now you see a full range of people now that are kind of in this mode. You have the, Seth and the two Brawns, but then now you have Cody, you have LA Knight, you have...
we even mentioned Paul Heyman in this damn match. He escorted Bronson Reed down the ring. Yeah. And then you see Seth and Cody still getting those holy shit chants. We're still not... I thought the people were kind of done with that.
Oh, no,
and it's not even close. It's a whole new feud.
It's again, the two guys. I think Cody's been back with the company since 2022. So he's got 3 years in the company. He's already had like 3 or 4 matches with Seth, and every time, and I still like, now that they're kind of alluding to it, I still want to see it. Like, I'm not sick of it at all. No,
it's a feud that it could go forever.
Yeah.
So we have Cody and Jay next week. That's gonna be interesting. They are friends, former tag team partners and champions.
I'm wondering if so. Here's my as trying to be an internet fan.
We need to do our predictions, dude. Yeah. Like, we need to see if they come true.
I think Cody goes over. I'm gonna say Jay is something that Sami Zayn does costs him this match.
Damn. Okay. And we'll keep the worlds intertwined.
Yep.
It keeps it fresh. I think, let me see. Let me go back to our previous matches real fast. Those predictions. Cody definitely, I think, I'm a mark. It's going to be Cody for sure. Cody for sure. And I think Jade's going to take, and I think Becky Lynch wins next week too.
I think Jade needs to progress more in the Queen of the Ring. I think Roxanne can lose this match and still be inserted into as Liv's replacement as the tag team champion, and still have a purpose for her. You imagine? I mean, I imagine Raquel and Roxanne be a decent little tag. Like, obviously, Raquel, has her ties to Liv, but I feel like those two together eventually, Roxanne works her way in. Raquel kind of starts siding with her, and what if this is what pushes Liv out of the Judgment Day?
It can be. How'd you feel? This is what I wanted to ask you too. How'd you feel about Braun taking the pin? Bronson Reed taking the pin or Jey Uso this week?
I'll be honest. I don't think it's gonna hurt his character as much right now. And if you look at that match, Sheamus has been gone for a while. They need to build him back up. Rusev obviously needs to be brought up. Bronson in that again in a group of guys that are already have been main eventers. He's working. He's kind of on. He's got more time to work his way up, if that makes sense.
Do you feel like Jey Uso could have not had this? It could have been someone else, or did it have to be him?
I think this is kind of the. This is the sub story to work whatever Jay's got going next.
Okay.
Jay, like I said, Jay had his main event run. He had his title strap. He had his strap. If you ignore what Rikishi said on,
oh my God, he was going, dude. But I commented on his.
Did you?
It's a work.
Yep.
It's a work. I get it, but it's a work.
His complaints are again. He was in the business, man.
Yeah, dude, it's a work. Like, I get. He's very emotional. I know it's his boy. I know. Maybe to me it was a little too soon. Yeah, is it BS that Gunther's the champion with Goldberg now? And I don't think that's the sole reason why they did it, but Goldberg needs a reason to go after the champion. This is the reason.
His arguments were that Jay was selling merch, people were he was getting over and that kind of thing. And yeah, people are sharing his music, people are buying his stuff. But that's, again, Gunther is still the better performer, unfortunately.
And he was doing that before he had a title. So he's going to be fine. He's one of those guys right now. He's established his spot as in he doesn't need the title to do what he can continue doing. No, I don't think he's going to miss a dollar.
I think there's more to be done with Gunther right now in that as a heel champion, than there is to have Jay, because Jay's
Jay's
going to be a
face.
chaser. He's not going to be the guy that needs to be on top. He needs to be the guy chasing the title.
It's gonna be and I'm sure they could have done a lot. There's still a lot of hills, and maybe they're not ready, but.
But 51 days is also a decent. I mean, not. I think there's the Bruno Sammartino days are done. I mean,
Yeah, those Roman Reigns like runs. Cody had it for almost a year, and it's over. And,
yeah.
No, I love Rikishi.
Those are
man.
few and far between, man.
Yeah, not everybody's gonna be like that either. I love Rikishi, but dude, it's a work.
Yeah,
it's a work. It's a work. But this is not a work. This is doing the job. Cueto, I would love to have you back next week, sir. Sure. We have some big matches to talk about. I'm really excited, and I'm going to try to watch a little AEW for the people and just see what's going on in that world. And really appreciate you coming on, bro.
Always a pleasure.
Episode 153, Ernie C.
Arnold Cueto.
We are Doing the Job podcast. We out.